was another nation, which we know as to be the Caucasian race. They conquered us, they took our books, and did what? They painted their images. So how did people see Christ when he was teaching?
Yep.
They hang and put nails in his hands and his feet. If he was invisible. The Bible describes Christ as a black man. All right, said nobody's supposed to buy and sell on this Sabbath day. You understand that part? So today, I see you got a Family Dollar bag. Did you buy that today? So guess what? If you say, I want to learn how to get close to God, God told me not to buy and sell on the Sabbath. So moving forward, what would you not do on the Sabbath day? You get laws on the Sabbath. Huh?
Buy and sell.
Yeah, you want to buy and sell. So now, you got to understand what the Lord said is, when you prep, you got 6 days to do all your preparation. Thursday night or Friday before the sun go down, then you go buy the bread for your food, for your house. Then you go buy the things that you need to eat and so forth on Saturday up until the sun goes down again. That's one way you can start getting close to God. I'm pretty sure the officer asked you earlier, you say you believe in God, right? So if you believe in God, we're going to do what his word say, correct? Yeah, give me Exodus 16 now.
Exodus chapter 16 verse 23.
Yep.
And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord has said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord.
So Moses was speaking to our forefathers in the wilderness. He said tomorrow is the day of rest. Tomorrow is the Sabbath. If we was to put that today, it would be a Friday. Read.
Bake that which ye will bake today.
So today he said go out and bake what you want to bake.
And see that ye will see it.
And boil what you may boil. If you're making bread, make that bread on Friday. If you need to boil pastas or noodles, you're going to make that Friday. Not on Saturday, on Friday. Why?
And that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept unto the morning.
And the food that you made on Friday in your Sabbath preparation, you was to eat that the next day. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what are we trying to show you? The Lord said that you're not supposed to buy and sell, but also he's showing us we're not supposed to cook on the Sabbath. So for example, a lot of people say, well, if y'all can't cook on Saturdays, what do? That's why he said, boil and bake what you're going to bake Friday. So if it's a tuna pasta, a salmon pasta, cold pasta, you make that Friday, you eat it the next day. If you're going to make bread, you bake your bread, your unleavened bread and so forth. You bake that, you eat it the next day. Or you can have a cold salad, you can eat cereal. If you like cold pizza, that's cool. But there's many things you can eat. Cold chicken wrap, sandwiches, chips. You can eat many things on the Sabbath.
Right.
But on the Sabbath day, you should have nothing hot touching your lips. No tea, no coffee. You make everything the day before.
Right.
That's right.
You understand that? Give me Heritage, Sirach 17:11. Give me that.
Sirach chapter 17 verse 11.
Yep.
Beside this, he gave them knowledge.
He's talking about the children of Israel. Now, remind me of your name again, sir.
Right.
Danny, where was your father at on this sign? Did you get to find your father on this sign yet? Your father? Your father, was he a so-called African American? Yeah, so you see where it says Judah? According to God, this is the tribe that you come from.
Right.
We're not African Americans or American blacks. These are bywords.
Right.
This is what happened after we was conquered as a people, right here put on the slave ships. They took our name Israel from us and gave us American black.
Bring it out.
So what we're reading is, in the Bible, the Israelites, God gave us what?
Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage.
God gave us the Bible for a heritage.
That's right.
Meaning what? Your customs come from the Bible.
Right.
Your dress code comes from the Bible.
Right.
Your marriage customs, your moral laws.
Right.
The things you eat will come from the scriptures.
Right.
That's right.
Today when you look around at our people, look at our neighborhoods, we don't know anything about God's laws. We forgot that this is our heritage. So when coming back to our heritage, we got to understand, why is the Sabbath day so important? Because it's your heritage.
That's right.
This is the customs that your forefathers, your foremothers kept, before we went into slavery.
Right.
This is what we're doing. Keeping the Sabbath day before this happened. With some of us. Some of us went into sin. That's why we are where we are today. Because we broke God's commandments.
Right. Read that again.
Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments.
Leviticus 23. So we showed you the Bible is our heritage. That's why it's important for us to understand and do the things in the Bible. God gave it to us for a heritage. Now, one thing we mentioned now, we've been talking about the Sabbath day. You're supposed to not cook, not buy and sell on the Sabbath day. Something else you're supposed to be doing. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 2.
Yep.
Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations.
Moses says speak concerning the Lord says speak concerning the feast. Feast days, the Sabbath days and so forth. Many holidays we have. But he said the holidays or the Sabbath days are supposed to be a holy convocation, meaning a holy gathering. So on the Sabbath day, you're not supposed to be sitting at home by yourself.
Right.
You should be gathered with other like-minded people keeping God's commandments. Where you going
That's
with
right.
the jacket? The black jacket right here. Brother came up to the pictures and left. Come here for a second, bro. God said you're supposed to congregate on the Sabbath day. Let me ask you a question. Do you know what the Sabbath is? That's what we're discussing. The Sabbath day. No, sir? Okay. And Danny, before you go, what does Christ look like? What does Christ look like? What does that mean? What does his skin look like? I'm asking you too. He was a spirit. You said Christ was a spirit. So, do y'all believe Christ died on the cross for our sins? You believe that, right? So did Christ walk around as a spirit? They put a spirit on the cross? They did. What does the spirit look like then? I'm trying to help you out. Invisible. So how did people see Christ when he was teaching? How did they hang and put nails in his hands and his feet? If he was invisible? That because it don't make sense. That's a lie.
That's right.
That's a lie we was taught. Now I'm gonna show you something. Yeah, the Jesus piece. They got necklaces with the white man on it every day we see. Now back up for me real quick, officer. I'm gonna show you something real quick. Cause you said he was invincible. If Christ was invincible, how come they gave us this image and said this was Christ? I know y'all seen it. Damn near every church got a white man on the wall claiming to be Jesus Christ. If Christ was invisible, how come this is the image they give us? The answer is because he wasn't invisible.
That's right.
Christ was a Jew, he walked the earth. He was a man, he had flesh. This would be more of an accurate description of what he looked like. But we're going to go in the scriptures and show y'all what Christ looked like. Watch this.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1.
Well,
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The revelation or revealing of Jesus Christ. Step to the side so Danny can make sure he see me too. I want both y'all brothers to pay very close attention because we got to cast this image down.
Right.
This is the devil. This is Satan.
Right.
Read.
The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
These are the things that was given to show in the last days. To who it said? To his prophets, to his servants. That's you men. You are the servants of God. You are the prophets. Sleep.
14.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Jesus Christ's head and his hairs were white like wool. Now, talking about the color is white. When it says wool, that's talking about a texture. What people today have woolly textured hair? What animal does that remind you of? Appreciate you. Get the sound for me. Appreciate that. I'm asking y'all. Have y'all heard of a sheep before? A sheep has woolly textured hair. A sheep has that. Which you can actually look at an afro, it's the same thing. Christ had an afro.
Right.
Woolly textured hair.
That's right.
Read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Christ drank wine. That's why the whites of his eyes turn red.
Right.
Just like today, one of your uncles. Or you know, you've been around for a little bit. You see when brothers drink, their eyes turn red.
Read.
And his feet,
What?
his feet,
Now John is looking at Christ's feet. Read.
unto fine brass.
He said his feet look like fine brass. Everybody knows brass is brown.
Right.
But this is going to give us a more specific description of that brown. Read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if you burned the polished brass. That's what we have images for y'all to see. As if it burned in a furnace.
That's right.
If you take anything and burn it, what color does it turn?
Freedom.
If you burn something, it's going to turn brown. Black.
That's right.
The Bible describes Christ as a black man.
That's right.
Your complexion. So where do we get this? We got this from our enemies.
Right.
When we was freaking put on slave ships, when we was picking cotton in the field, they gave us an image of a Caucasian Jesus Christ. Guess what? Newsflash. This man ain't saving you. Ain't no white man coming to save us.
That's right.
The white man been ruling this earth for years. Over 528 years. They've been ruling the earth. How come we still ain't been saved yet?
Bring it out.
Because this is the image that we have in our minds. We don't have no recollection of Christ looking like our fathers. Give me Jeremiah real quick. You put that down. Give me Jeremiah. Give me Jeremiah. And do me a favor, soldier. Look at that backpack. Give me that purple binder out. Give me that real quick. Let's talk about the Jews. While he's getting there, I'm going to show y'all an image painted by our forefathers. Back in the dark ages, the images that they painted of our forefathers. I'm going to show you that real quick. You got it? Give me that, you know what? Give me that painted over Maccabees 3. Watch this. Let me show y'all something. Go to the next page. Right here. There we go. Yeah, first Maccabees 3:48. Watch this. Flip that around. Flip that around for the brothers to see. I want y'all to look at these images. These are images that I printed off that have been taken from churches and monasteries in Europe. These are real images. This is Christ washing the disciples' feet. Now I gotta ask y'all a question. What color is that brother's skin?
Freedom.
Didn't we just read Christ would look like he was burned in the furnace? So does that look like a brother with afros? Do you not see these men? Let's flip the page for me. Joseph and Mary. Does that look like a Caucasian man? No, that's a black man and a black woman.
Right. That's right.
Jesus Christ's parents. And I didn't paint these images. These are images from the 1200s, the 1300s, the year 1000 and so forth. Printed out for y'all brothers to see that. To show you, yes, the Bible shows it and our history is still up to date.
Right.
We just don't go read it in the book. But guess what? The Lord sent brothers out here to teach y'all. You can put that back. The Lord sent brothers out here to teach y'all. Read that.
First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law.
How did we get this image? We're going to read that in history. When we was conquered, there was another nation, which we know as to be the Caucasian race. They conquered us. We lost through war. They conquered us. They took our books and did what?
Wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of.
They painted the likeness
Of their images.
of our images.
Of their images.
Christ being black with an afro.
Of their images.
They painted their images.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word